Hey everyone, let's build the Jungle Explorer helicopter at base camp by Lego City. This is set number 60437, contains 881 bricks, retails for $99.99, and this set was provided by the Lego Group for early review. So thank you kindly, Lego, for giving me this opportunity to review this set. Well, looks like we got plenty of stuff going on here. Looks like we got ourselves a couple of gorillas, some sort of tree, watercraft, all sorts of stuff, and obviously that's the helicopter. That's not too bad. So here's the minifigures. Looks like we get 5 figures in total. We've seen her around. That's probably her boyfriend, we don't know, but that's kind of cool. We get a baby one too. That's nice. And let's take a look at the back, and that's a little more cheerful. We can see a little bit more here. It's like the back of this opens up, and got our gorillas, orangutans, whatever you want to call them. Probably going to throw that at someone. And yeah, doesn't look too bad. Well, let's open this up and see what's inside. We got to let those gorillas out of the box. And from what I can tell, though, it looks like an interesting build. Not something I would normally ever put together, but we'll find out. It might be a really good, interesting build. We don't know yet. Well, first we got to get the tape cut. Here we go. And, oh, got paper bags, so we're not going to be able to see much here. Alright, let's see here. Let's start organizing bags while we're here. So far we have a 7. Well, so it looks like we have indeed 7 bags. And a 32 by 32 stud long cross axle. These are good for making trees. Have to hang on to that. Some Technic frames and a plane base. That is what we're interested in. Now, if you do not want to get a paper cut on these, which I've done before, just take a trusty brick separator. You know, if you have a spare one lying around. And we're going to open this up and see what's in here. You know, the camera seems a bit bright on this thing, but I think sometimes will lie to you. I know some people rip them open, but I save these. They're really good for putting paperwork in. Once I get it started, it's not too bad. There we go. Already had enough paper cuts doing this, so I don't deal with it anymore here. Okay. Hope we don't get stickers with this, but I have a feeling we are. Okay. Yeah, there's the sticker sheet. Well, we know it's 7 bags. And that is the sticker sheet there. Kind of plain, to be honest. I mean, it's not too bad, but, you know, I don't know. Here's booklet 1. Looks like, oh, they tell you what we're doing on the fronts here. So this one does accessories, and this one does the helicopter, and it could be possibly a group build, but it's not really balanced, but we'll find out eventually. And yeah, it's not too bad. Well, I'm going to head over to my second channel. I'm going to assemble this set, come back, and report my findings. Let's have a look at our minifigures. There are 5 in total. I think she's the boat navigator. I think he's the pilot. He's obviously the doctor. I've seen him around in a few sets. She's like the navigator. She's got the map. I like that tile. And here we have Miss Undercut. And I think she is the mechanic of the bunch. She probably fixes things or breaks things. Depends on how you look at it. But they are a nice set of minifigures for this set. Here we have our vehicles. So we got ourselves an air-propelled watercraft. That's what it looks like on the back. Very basic. Not a whole lot to it. We also got a little radio on the side. Pretty cool. And we have Miss Undercut's motorbike. It's got the bags on the sides. There's the radio, so she can communicate with the watercraft. We got the helmet that goes along with it too, for extra safety. And honestly, these are not a bad set of little vehicles. Next we have ourselves a little infirmary, And got ourselves a little laptop here, and sadly that is a sticker that's not printed. In addition, we got the helmet for the pilot, a little burner with a fried egg on top, and this right here we have a bed. The only problem with this is this thing is so sloppy, it just swings and falls off and stuff, so you have to be careful with that. That's what this looks like on this side here. In addition, we got ourselves a camera that I like to drop. Not too bad. And we got 2 small containers. What's in these? Well, let's open them up and find out. This one's got waffles, so obviously somebody likes waffles. Maybe that's for the gorillas that like those. So they can throw them at you. And then we got the fried eggs. No, those are not fried eggs. Those are oranges. So those are probably for the gorillas or orangutans. That's not too bad. Nice set of little accessories for this build. Next we have ourselves a little habitat with 3 gorillas. We got 2 adult gorillas and 1 baby gorilla on the top. The adult gorillas are the same, but here's the little one. He does detach, rest on the back, or you can put him anywhere you want. The arms do move and all that stuff, so ready to go to throw things at you. And if I can get that on there right, there we go. And to the left, we got ourselves a little spider inside of a little cave. I like this butterfly, and you can see that's printed. One of the very few pieces that are printed. Over here, we got some water flowing off the side here. I like these fruits that are hanging off the tree. And here's the back. A little flower inside. And it just seems a bit unfinished in the back. But for the most part, it's a nice, good piece of terrain with this set. Finally, we have the Jungle Explorer helicopter, and it's pretty big, as you can tell with the size of my hand. And it's a nice build. That's essentially what it is. And you got some engines and stuff. It got a little medical bag. These do open up here on the sides. This does open up in the back. You've got some storage in there. So what can you store in there? Well, you can stick this in here, obviously. We could back that in there. And let's see if that closes up. Yeah, works pretty good. And got this side here. That opens up. We got a syringe in there to conk out the gorillas. We need to operate on them or something like that. And these little gates fold down. We have a string here. That's a lot of space in there. What would you put in there? I don't know. Maybe this would slide in there. If you want, if you're inclined to put that in there. Okay, it's good for storage, so you could slide that in there if you want. Just be careful you got the little egg in here. So if you really want, you can throw the egg in with the syringe here to keep it safe. There you go. And yeah. And what do you put on this? You can have a minifigure attached to it, or you can use one of the crates here, the supply crates, and you can just attach this on here. And when you're flying around, you know, you can have that dangle and it looks like that. Or you could just wind this all up, just keep it in there, you know, that kind of thing, to keep it out of the way. And you got an extra space in here for that. Now this does open up here in the front. So let me reposition you here so you can see exactly what I see. And that just pops right off to reveal the inside of the cockpit. Not too bad. And let's take a better look at that here. Pretty cool. And you can tell it seats up to several minifigures. Looks like it seats up to 4 side by side. So that's really cool. Let's grab some figures and throw it in here. Let's throw the medical doctor in here because he's a backseat driver. We'll put him in there. And yes, my hands are in the way, but he fits right in there. And we'll throw her right here. She can be our co-pilot. Well, let's just put her here in the back. Maybe these two are dating, we don't know. He's our pilot. Well, what did I do with this thing? We'll just pop off his hat. Oh, a little sparse up there. Let's go ahead and put the helmet on. He could be the net pilot there, and we'll sit him down right here. You gotta have fun doing these reviews because you'll go nuts if you don't. Well, he doesn't sit in there very well. What am I doing wrong? There you go. And we got the lady with the map. Well, you won't need the map where you're going because you're not going to go far. You're not going to need the turntable. So, good luck with that. And it seems like the figures in the front are kind of hard to put in. Maybe we just have to raise up their arms, or am I just not putting things in correctly? There we go, but there she fits in. And of course with the map we can toss it back there. And of course Miss Undercut, well, she's so brave, she's going to hang off the rope here. So we'll just disconnect this. She's got to live life on the wild side. So she can grab a hold of this with her wrench, while holding on her wrench, so she could fix the rope. Okay, you know, that kind of thing. And will this fit on top? We don't know yet. Let's set that right in there. Yes, indeed, it is scaled for figures. Now I notice this right here is coming apart a little bit. That's not good. That's not good at all. I'll say that for the review. And yeah, it is scaled for figures. So now she can fly around with that hanging down. Now, here's something pretty cool about this. And we're going to need to bounce you back up here a little bit. Rotate this. These props move. Watch this. Frame rate test. Looks pretty cool, huh? Test the frame rate with this too. And yeah, it's got some functionality with it. So when she's done living life on the wild side, she can sit in there and take a nap. And for the most part, as you can tell, there's a lot of things to do. She can even put her motorbike in there too and work on it while they're flying around. And yeah, you can see it's a fully playable model. This thing's got a lot of room. It's meant to be played with. Well, here are my thoughts on this set. Let's begin with build quality, and despite me having some issues with stickers and stuff, it's not a bad build. This is pretty robust. Didn't really have anything fall off of the helicopter. This thing here, as you saw, is kind of squiggly. I don't know why. It could have been refortified a bit better, but that's how it was meant to be built. So it's kind of flopping around. Other than that, though, all this right over here is pretty strong. So build quality, this is designed for play. This is designed for someone to enjoy, you know, which is really nice. Build experience for me personally was average. I don't know, I was getting bored with the set assembling. I think it might be the colors, or I'm just not into aviation. But I just could not get into this build. So build experience for me, it was just an average Lego build, nothing more. And speaking of play value, lots of stuff you can do here. We got this little habitat. You do get the watercraft and a motorcycle. You get several minifigures. You get this little infirmary, accessories, and of course the fully playable helicopter. And this is really nice too. So this is designed for play. Now, could this be dropped in a Lego City? Absolutely yes. You could just pick this stuff up over here and drop it in. This habitat, you would actually have to finish off the back. You could just integrate this into your city. If you need a vehicle to put inside your airport, there you go. It may look a little big and bulky and odd, but it is ready to be dropped into a Lego City. Now, there's really not a lot to expand on this set. You could add a little bit more to the habitat terrain, which should be fine as is, or you can use the parts for other creations. So the set has enough pieces to make yourself a decent helicopter, or even an aircraft. In addition, there are several building guides and a brick separator provided. So you at least have a tool to help you with disassembling the set if you make a mistake and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Now there's one thing to note about is stickers. Some of these stickers have to be placed in a certain arrangement. I did make a mistake on some of the stickers here. I put them the wrong way, or some were just a little bit hard to line up on some of the bricks. So you got to be very careful, watch your sticker orientation. I wish Lego would have printed this model, it would have been nice, but the stickers weren't that bad in this set. It wasn't like you were doing 20 stickers at one time. Everything is spaced out evenly, so that's really nice. Now, my final score in this set is a 9.4 out of 10. Here's why I'm dinging off just a little. Stickers. I had a few pieces flake off, and that's it. Now, I don't grade on if I'm bored, because somebody else who gets the set's probably going to be happy with it. They're going to enjoy the build. For me, I couldn't get into it. This just wasn't my type of style of build. But for me personally, a 9.4 is a pretty good score. This did not really get scratched, surprisingly, which I'm happy with. And for the most part, you are getting a very strong, sound robust build. But tell me what you think.